Hey guys, Cody from Team Epidemic here. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far and this format of deck profiles. We feel it just gets the information to you faster and gives us more time to show the deck in action. If you do enjoy them, please like, subscribe, and comment and let us know. This week I'm bringing you my Antimeta Dark Magician build. It's super fun to play and it puts up a really good fight against all the top decks at the moment. With all the new YCS lists and stuff, I actually tailored this build just to shut out all the top decks and limit and slow everything down. That being said, I'm just going to jump right into it and show you guys the build. 3 Dark Magicians and 3 Rods are the only monsters in it. And I know that's pretty crazy, but I'll explain how the deck works later. 3 Dark Magical Circles, 3 Secret Village of the Spellcasters, 3 Pot of Desires. I was using a Pot of Extravagance in this, and you can do that and swap out and add Winter Cherries into the side deck and make your extra deck just full of all kinds of Winter Cherries targets, but I decided to make this a budget build just because it's so rogue, and some of the cards have actually recently went up in price anyway, so I just wanted to keep it as small price as possible. Heatwave is one of the biggest techs in this deck. When it's activated, neither player can normal or special summon an effect monster until your next draw phase. So it just shuts your opponent out of all their effect monsters. 97% of the time, everybody just set pass, and that's about all they can do. Summoner's Art, just to search out that Dark Magician and make sure you hit the ground from the start. 2 Dark Magic Veils for additional special summoning. Pot of Dualities to search out your combo pieces. 1 Dark Magic Attack. 1 Dark Magic Inheritance. 1 Day of Peace. 1 Upstart Goblin. 3 Magician Navigations. 3 Eternal Souls. 3 Summon Limits. Both players can only summon twice per turn. So that just slows the game down and puts everything on Dark Magician standards. 2 Gozen matches and 1 skill drain. That is it for the main deck. And for the extra deck right now, I just have everything in 3s just for the extravagance. But you hardly ever use it. But when you do, it's mainly Red Eye's Flare Metal just for extra burn damage. Big Eye to steal some monsters. And this is the MVP, Ebon Illusion Magician. It just searches out your 3rd Dark Magician from the deck and special summons it. And when Dark Magician declares an attack, it banishes another card on the field. I do have Lucky number 7 in here just because it's a really fun card to play. It takes all 3 Dark Magicians, so you'll rarely get it out, but it is super possible, which is hardly ever necessary, and it can do some crazy things if you get the right dice roll. And it's not once per turn, so you just keep trying until you do. 3 Wee Witch Apprentice, just to boost up the power of Dark, and Link Spider. Link Spider is just if you're only using 1 Dark Magician at a time, you haven't dug the other ones out, you can actually link out Link Spider, send Dark Magician in the graveyard. That way your Eternal Soul's live again, and you can get that banish off circle. So it just helps 1 Dark Magician play as multiple copies. And that's pretty much it for the extra deck. And as far as the side goes, I just threw something together real quick just because it changes for every meta. You can do the Winter Cherries like I was talking about earlier, but as of now, I just 3 raw spear modes for going second, Pankertops for going second, Lancias for when you're going first and you're afraid your opponent's going to like evenly match you. You can also use it so your like Thunder Dragons are shut down, they can't banish anything. There's all kinds of decks that are banishing from the graveyard, or Allure of Darkness, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's just a super handy card to have and really cheap and shuts down a lot of the top decks. Of course, evenly matches in here just because it's one of the best cards in the game, and then 3 Twin Twisters. And that's pretty much it for the deck. We'll jump right into the replays and show you the deck in action against some of the top decks right now. So I know I said this is an anti-meta build, but I gotta be honest, I actually strictly built this to take down Salamangreats Greats because so many people are playing them right now, especially online, that 4 out of 5 duels that I was in would be Salamangreats Greats. So I just wanted something that was gonna shut them down. And then after I built it and won so many matches against them, I realized that it applied to so many decks like Sky Strikers, Altergeist, and just anything that's been topping and winning recently. But that being said, our first replay is actually against Salamangreats Greats, so I'm just going to hit play and let you watch the carnage. Hit him with a Heat Wave in main phase 1 because that is one of the requirements of its activation, so that it has to be the first card you activate. But they are locked out for this entire turn. They literally, I think, set 1 monster pass. Go ahead and bring out Dark Magician, and then I'm going to hit him with another. Actually, I think this turn I spared and I just brought out Red Eye's Flare Metal just because I'm afraid of the Eternal Soul being out and wiping all my monsters. So I kept Heat Wave this time went for burn damage just in case they twin twisted me or something along the lines, that I wouldn't be out of complete board and could still be chipping away at the life points. And I'm going to hit him with the heat wave next turn, because I'm honestly not afraid of anything else that Salamangreats can do other than setting a roar and passing, and we're already way past the roar helping them out. Ooh, hit me with a Gozen, and I actually run Gozen in my deck too just because it's all dark, so that's just not a good card for them to draw. And that's pretty much it. They literally couldn't play the game hardly. They just, a lot of set pass. So I don't want to be one of those guys who only shows you the ideal hands of the build. This is actually one of the rougher ones because I have a dilemma of either activating Heat Wave, locking my opponent out of effect monsters for a turn, or summoning Rod and searching Dark Magician resources, which I actually did not draw any this time. I also have Skill Drain, which I know if I set it, I'm going to activate it by next turn, and then both these rods are going to be dead. So I really need to get a rod out and search. So I'm going to save the Heat Wave. I'm going to bank on Gozen Match and Skill Drain for keeping me alive. I am actually playing against Altergeist, which is one of my favorite decks. It's actually my main deck that I play right now. I just got my national invite with it at last regionals, and people think it's dropping off, but with Pot of Extravagance, I think it's better than ever just because it's a free pot of greed for the deck. He does summon a Marionetter, and I shut that down immediately because if he gets Protocol out, then Skill Drain does nothing and all his effects on board can't be negated. He flips Rivalry. I don't know if that was out of frustration or just to show or possibly keep me out of extra deck, but he doesn't really understand the depth of my deck right now. I don't really rely on different types. They're all spellcasters, and I don't use effects or extra deck that much either. I think right now he's just putting bodies on the board just to kind of minimize damage, lock me out of spells, even though I have spells out or spellcasters out. I think possibly he's digging for a Twin Twister or just trying to stay alive to get some of my back row. So that's the only reason why I could think that he would bring Multi-Figure out, just put it in defense, minimize damage taking. I don't think it's going to be enough. I went into the link here, even though I know Skill Drain. I just wanted that Dark Magician in the graveyard just so I could bring it back with Eternal Soul and banish another monster on his field, just in case he did get Milliseek out and activated a Twin Twister. I just didn't want him to be able to use spells. I actually wanted to use his field spell against him. This is pretty much going to be game. I had Dark Magic attack, clear the back row. Right now I'm just adding resources for no reason, and just in case he did have something in hand to stop me, but I just attack and it's over. So that's DM going against Altergeist. So this is actually going to be a really good replay for you guys because A, it shows me going second, which I know both the other replays were me going first, which is ideal, but doesn't always happen. And this guy actually sets up a really good board. He goes through a lot of resources, and I don't even have anything to stop him or bother with it. And he sets up, I think, a couple of Fog Blades, and he actually goes into the new Azathoth combo, which I know is hurting a lot of decks out right now, which is just another reason why this deck's really viable and actually makes a Dark Magician deck pretty compatible with the meta of today. Again, like he searched one Fog Blade, set one. I'm not sure why he brought this back. I guess just to use, but he changed the rank up magic to my upstart, goes into Azathoth, not knowing what I'm playing yet, which I don't think anybody's prepared for a deck that does not rely on any effect whatsoever. I drew into the Heat Wave, so I know I'm good for next turn. Right here, he actually chained Fog Blade to my attack declaration, and the channel, we've actually been talking about doing some ruling videos, and that's a good one for you. If the attack is already declared, then of course Fogblade can't stop the declaration that's already been in progress. But if he would have done it before, which I think was his intentions, he would have saved that monster and I couldn't have attacked it. And we're actually talking about going into a lot of cool little ruling videos because we know there's been quite a few little misunderstandings or just some common misplays that have been happening at locals that no one's really talking about. Everybody just kind of gives you deck profiles and leaves you on your own, and we just felt like that's a really good market for us to get into. I would have been able to win this turn, but he actually did get to Fogblade my rod, so I was left with 200 and I just went straight for the burn. And I knew I would trigger that second Fogblade, and I chained Navi, and it actually made the Fogblade resolve and didn't negate my effect and burned them. I just thought that was one of the best ways to win that. But that's pretty much it for this build. There's countless replays I can show you, but you pretty much get the idea of it. Go ahead and build it, test it out for yourselves. Let us know if you like it in the comments. If you hate it, try and be nice about it. No, we're fine. But for real, like, share, subscribe.